All right, I'm going to do one of these examples for you guys just to show you the process, start to finish. This is going to be the Bambi mode where your fog lights are on with your brights. So right now you can see what it would look like stock. I don't know if it's just with these Anzos or what, but the low beams are onto the brights. All right, so here is the tool that I've been linking. It's the $30 USB one. So this is your OBD2 connector. It has two modes, HS and MS. Here's your switch. When you are using the Forscan application, it'll tell you when you need to switch back and forth. When you start, you're going to start in the HS position, which is the up position. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug it in real quick. And I apologize for the bad light down here, but I'm just plugging it into my OBD connection on the truck. Okay, and then we're going to plug the USB part into my Windows laptop. Okay, next you have the Forscan application. So I have that up already, and the document, the spreadsheet that tells you all the different settings for the different modes. So starting out here, I have it plugged in, and I have in the lower left the connection button here. So I can keep this focused for you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. And it's just going to have a few things here that you need to double check. So let's go ahead and click OK. Then it's going to run through. If you have a profile already, you've already used this, it's going to ask you if you want to use your profile. Yes, I do. So on the HS side, it's checking all the different modules on the HS side. Now it's going to say, or it's going to ask me if I had that little switch. So we're just going to click yes to this. It's going to ask you to switch it over to MS. And once it's switched, I click OK. Alright, so now it is connected. I can see in the bottom left there that vehicle is green, interface is green. Okay, so those are green. Now we get to go up to the CPU looking icon, configuration and programming. And these are a list of all the modules that your truck has. So in the document, that's where we're going to look and see what we have listed for module for what we're doing. So over here, I'm doing the fog lights with high beams, Bambi mode. The module is BCM. So there's actually two different ways you can, or two different methods of Bambi mode. I'm going to do the second one here. Some of these changes, like say the global window open, close, you're going to have to change multiple rows. You have 3 BCM module changes and then the DDM and PDM. I'm going to do a basic one where we're only changing the BCM. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for is BCM. There is, you'll see that there's 2 and it actually is BDYCM, but this is your BCM one. The second one is just for a more like an easy mode configuration change. I haven't really looked into it. It doesn't look as intuitive as it's supposed to be. So what we're concerned with is this one right here. All right. So once I click on that, down at the bottom here, I'm just going to click that play button. And it's going to tell me that, hey, you need to switch that little switch that you have back. Okay, so I'm switching it back to HS. Click OK. This is just your standard warning saying, hey, you're making changes. Make sure you know what you're doing. Click OK. All right, so it's going to read all the different blocks within the BCM module. All right, So you see you have these different addresses on the left, and in our document here we have the address as well. So I'm going to be looking for 726-2701. So before we do this, if you haven't already, you need to, this is where you want to save it. So if you're concerned about messing this up, well, you save everything before you make the change. And I just did this once, so I have my stock configuration. So you're going to click Save All at the bottom here. It's going to give you a pop-up. You can give yourself a folder if you want, but you can see that I've saved every single one of these that I'm going to be changing, just so I have something to revert back to. Okay, so I have it backed up. Now I'm ready to make the change. I'm looking here. Again, I'm looking for 726-2701. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to scroll down. And it's just up at the top here. Okay, so there it is. So this is the rule that I'm going to be changing. And now it's going to tell me what values to use. Okay, so looking close here, the X's are placeholders. So if you're seeing X's, that means you're not going to touch the value that already exists in that column. What you're concerned about is the numbers or letters. So this, I'm supposed to change the last letter of the middle column to 0. Looking up here at that top row, you can see it was a 1, and I changed it to a 0. So we're talking about right here. That's now a 0. And then the second part is that it needs to start with the 0, 1 on the last part. Okay, so I had a different value in there before. Now I have it set to 0, 1. Once I've done that, you go ahead and click right. Now if you're doing multiple changes like that window open close where you have 3 rows you're changing, you can enter all of those changes first, and then you would click write all. And that will just rewrite everything, so you don't have to click right on each one of these and restart your ignition. Okay, so the values are in place. I click right. What it's going to do, I've already put this in place and wrote it. So what it's going to do is your truck's going to make a ding noise, just kind of notifying you that something's changed. It's going to tell you to turn your ignition off, turn it back on, and then you click OK once that's done. Alright, so once that's in place, then you can test out your change. Alright, so I'm going to make sure my headlights are on, and I got my ignition's on, fog lights are on now. I'm going to put my brights on, and come over here, and now I can see that my fog lights do not turn off when my brights are on, so a little bit better lighting on the highway at night. That's all you got to do. Then you can keep making changes, or you can go back, click on this top part right here, and simply disconnect.